which is weird.
The Timberwolves?
Well, the Timberwolves and Oklahoma City being at the top.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yep. And then the Cavs will play the 6-40 Detroit Pistons on Wednesday night here at the Romo Fijo before they hit the road for a couple. So tonight, 7 o'clock, Clippers, Cavs here on MMS and on the iHeartRadio app. If you want to listen there, you have precisely 3 days. The last day of the month is Wednesday. If you want to get yourself some gear from CLE Clothing Company, you can use the promo code RING, R-I-N-G, and that'll get you 20% off whatever you want from there. I emptied out one of my drawers over the weekend. I was doing some organizing. I was doing some thinning out of the wardrobe, and I emptied out one of my drawers because it was where I keep all of my WMMS shirts. And it was positively stuffed with, I pulled them all out. Like, it's ridiculous to try to get these in here because we get them so frequently. There's always new MMS shirts coming out with CLE Clothing. And so I'm like, it's ridiculous to try to stuff them all into this drawer. And so I took them all out. It was like a little trip down memory lane with the MMS shirts. You know, I've been here 14 years now.
I'm hitting 11 on the show this weekend.
This coming weekend?
Yeah.
You know we're not on this weekend.
I know, but I mean, it's the date that I was officially hired.
February 3rd or 4th?
I think it's the 3rd or the 4th.
Hey,
I don't know.
One of those two.
I'm not good with anniversaries.
All right.
Like that. But I think it was the 3rd that I was officially, had my key card.
Well, there you go. Mazel tov. So,
11 years, 8 memories.
Oh, that's a pretty good ratio.
You good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good ratio. So, yeah, the word will change over at CLE Clothing Company as of Thursday. I don't have it yet, but as soon as I do, you will get it from me. If you listen to us on iHeartRadio from out of state, I'd like to know where. We have a lot of bureau chiefs all throughout the union. A lot of people in New Jersey. We hear from Bill in South Jersey quite a bit. He'll leave us some voicemails. Louis is in Newark. Mark's in Bayonne. Brian is in Hackensack, New Jersey. Not to be confused with Sack and Hack, which is where Pinky Malinky lives. But somebody in New Jersey woke up to find their house vandalized with pepperoni. Now, is that the most New Jersey prank ever? A pepperoni attack on her house.
It was a prank. Maybe she really loved, sausage.
She's lying.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Someone may have blessed him. If someone covered my house in pepperoni, I'd be like,
Are you going to eat house-stuck pepperoni? Are you going to eat it off your house?
You can wash it.
You're going to take off the pepperoni piece by piece and wash it. All right.
I mean, it's a waste.
I get it.
I mean,
it's your house. It's your pepperoni.
You going to throw it away?
I imagine there's some acidity in there that's going to...
make you sick. Yeah, there's probably a little bacteria. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you should eat house pepperoni, bud.
It is a salted cured meat. Mm-hmm. She's in Manville, New Jersey, which is about an hour north of Trenton. And she woke up to find pepperoni all over her property. They were on her doorstep. They were leading to her car.
Oh, see, they're all over the ground and stuff,
all over the place.
Yeah.
She found them on her hood. She found them on her trunk. I mean, as far as pranks go.
Listen, pepperoni's not cheap right now. This is an expensive prank.
Is it expensive?
I mean, isn't everything? I can't think of pepperoni being... To get this much pepperoni, that's got to be hundreds of dollars.
That's commitment. That's somebody really wanting to send her a message. She just doesn't know what that message is. Heather Doherty is the homeowner.
From the door to the edge of the porch and then strategically placed down the stairs to the driveway. Nothing on the driveway, and then 4 slices on the hood and 4 slices on the trunk. We're trying to figure out who goes around with 2 loaves of pepperoni and a knife in the middle of the night and cuts it up into slices.
Loaves?
Is
a thing of pepperoni called a loaf? Because I'm learning something new, if that's true.
I thought it was like a pepperoni stick.
Well, yeah. Or just a sausage. A loaf of pepperoni. She lives in
pepperoni.
Jersey. She might know. Loaf.
Throws it on people's property. Like, you have nothing better to do with your time. It's wrong. You should not be trespassing. You should not be vandalizing people's properties. Like, you know, I mean, I even made a joke and called them the Pepperoni Bandits.
That is a good joke.
Take that, AI.
The Pepperoni Bandits.
Yeah, you're trying to
Top 10 AI, George Carlin.
You're not going to be able to come up with something better than that.
Pepperoni Bandits. All right, well, there you go. I was envisioning the pizza on the roof like Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
where she would have to get a ladder out of the garage and go up onto the roof.
Sounds like she just got... This sounds like a problem that's going to take care of itself if you have animals in the neighborhood.
Yeah, but you don't want rabid raccoons
Yeah,
all over.
that'd be awful.
Trash pandas all over your...
There's bears in New Jersey. A bear would turn down some free pepperoni.
Yeah. So, yeah, baffled by pepperoni tossed onto her property. She said that she's been in this house. And by the way, big, thick chunks of pepperoni. Not little slices.
That's what I'm saying. This is an
Hunks.
expensive prank.
Yeah. Somebody cut up, in her words, loaves.
Yeah.
She's been in her house for 16 years. She's like, I don't even get anything like this on Halloween. She's worried that the grease from the meat sitting on her car could ruin the paint.
It's a legit worry. I know if you leave like a piece of not pepperoni. I can't stop thinking about pepperoni. Bologna on a car
How would you
in
know
the
that?
sun. It would. It's one of those things that a teacher told me, and like there's so many things that I was told that I don't remember at all. But I remember a teacher saying, if you put a piece of bologna on a car, it'll eat away at the paint and destroy it or something.
See, most people know about the Coke eating through the backseat floor of your car. Fewer people know about the bologna burn on your car.
Ooh, bologna burn.
Today you've learned from young Bill Squire, if you didn't already know, I didn't know, TIL, the bologna burn
I hate a bologna.
is a thing. I'm sorry?
I hate a bologna. That is...
You hate a bologna?
Yeah. Bologna is just... It's the worst of the lunch meat.
See, I had a lot of bologna as a kid. And so...
I don't think I could eat bologna.
Why is that?
Because it's gross. Like, it's...
Did you have a lot of it as a kid? Usually when people get older, they're averse to something, it's because it got force-fed to them.
Yeah, bologna was like a poor person.
Yeah.
A poor kid.
Cheap meat.
Yeah, like... go make you a bologna sandwich. I'm like, no, please, not another. And also, on top of the bologna sandwich...
What would you make your bologna sandwich? What were the ingredients that you put on it?
I can't even say it.
I'm going to give away this money, and I want you to think about it. I want you to collect yourself. Collect yourself.
Relive the bologna moments.
Yeah, that's right. This is $1,000. You're going to give him the bologna burn here. It's $1,000, courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Green. That's green. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
So,
Makes my eyes twitch.
you got to relive this bologna horror.
Well, yeah, because we would always want like turkey and ham, and sometimes we would get those. That would be a treat, but most of the time it would just be like bologna.
But you could get the packets of lunch meat. There was cheap lunch meat.
I understand that. We would
Carl Buddig.
We would get those sometimes,
Yeah.
but bologna...
It was a huge pack, and it was dirt cheap.
It's a big
and it lasts
stack.
forever.
Oscar Mayer or store brand?
Probably store brand. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't remember.
Got that best value.
Yeah.
Something like that. And like mom, she would try and like jazz it up because she would like try and make it better because I just remember having like a bologna sandwich and then it was just so much mayo that the mayo would pour out of
Why did you tell her to put what's goddamn mayo on?
I don't know.
Embrace your white side.
But it was just like a bunch of mayonnaise, and she would try and like make it better than what it was. She's like, "You don't love a field trip bologna sandwich?" She's like, "Oh, when you have a field trip bologna sandwich, you just put it in your lunchbox and let like the
let it curdle.
Like the jostling of the bus, just make it
Let the flavors marry together.
just marinates, and then by the time you have it, I'm like, no, it's soggy. The bread is soggy. Like I can't even say it because
She was trying to sell.
Say it.
Your mom was trying to sell you on a sandwich tasting better because it got jostled.
Yes, jostled on the bus ride.
The
over to wherever
jostling
you're going.
unlocks the bologna flavor.
Yes, literally. She would make it seem like it was like marinating. I'm like, I don't want it marinating in mayo. Like that's why now
Of course not.
I just now, like within the last couple years, maybe after COVID, I just started having mayo again because I couldn't have it because of that. Because everything was slathered in mayo, like
no
like,
wonder.
all over, and then you put the
Hey,
bread
you don't
on
need
top.
a mayo. A little mayo goes a long way.
Like,
Yes.
that's why I'm such a snob. As a kid, I could not have bread. I did not like soggy bread. I didn't like soggy cereal. Anything soggy, I would take. So my mom would have to buy specific buns for me, like hamburger. I had to have hamburger buns for everything because it was enough. If it was going to be like slathered,
It was
in
sturdy
mayo,
enough that it would not
that it would not get soggy.
Yeah, it wouldn't break down.
And I just remember like my brother eating it. He would just have like the mayo all over his hands and all over.
and your
Why so
fingers,
much?
And your fingers are breaking through the bread, touching the meat.
Yeah. So that's all I remember. So
She
I was
didn't
like,
just give you like a little mustard smiley face and make it a sandwich.
we had other things too, but it was the bread that you just set on top, and it wasn't like the bread was not sustainable to have all of that.
It's that cheap white bread that is just.
It wasn't structurally
It
sound.
wasn't Wonder Bread. It was like great value.
No, I didn't say it was Wonder Bread. It was wondering if it was bread.
It was
Yeah, but
just,
wasn't Wonder Bread super cheap?
Not as cheap as the store brand. If you get the store brand, that's going to be the cheapest.
I
bread.
remember going to the Wonder Bread store with my dad and getting like day-old loaves and things like that. Yeah.
And Wonder Bread also is one of those things that is good when you get it out, but if you have to put like a sandwich in a bag, especially if they put lettuce on it, it just breaks down, and then you have the soggiest sandwich by lunchtime.
yeah, and my mom.
But we didn't get white bread. We got wheat
Of course
bread.
not. You had like probably like with the nuts and stuff on it. But that was
with
annoying
the fiber.
because like you try and make a sandwich with it, and then it would like it was almost crunchy, like it break up
Yes, yeah.
as you're eating it.
It's like hunks of bread.
It just kind of scarred me because like normal people, I feel like throw away the ends of the loaves, but like I would keep those because I'm like, that's a bun. If we don't have any buns, then I'll eat those two ends. And like everything, and I just remember my mom would just talk about a field trip bologna sandwich. It's just so great. And like, I don't like anything.
No wonder you're so mean to your mom.
I used to,
God.
it used to get so bad to the point where I didn't have butter on my bread as a child. Like you could toast. I would have toast and I would just eat the bread because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's firm.
You
it's
just want it
steady.
dry.
I want it dry because I did not want the butter on the, because my uncle who would like make breakfast for us sometimes because he was like living with us at the time, he would make toast and there would just be a big wet spot in the middle where he put the butter in
Giant
I'm like,
hunk of butter.
I'm like, ugh, like who wants to eat that? Like once you bite into it, like the bread falls apart. I just have like 4 different strips of bread because you done slathered freaking butter all over it. So
what was even worse would be when the butter would be so cold and they'd try and butter the bread, but it just ripped the bread apart and you just got this cold chunk of butter on a ripped up piece of toast. You're like, here, have some breakfast.
I was the snobbiest poor kid you would ever meet because I was so particular on how I ate. I was a picky eater, and then on top of that, whatever I did decide to eat, I didn't want my food to touch, like especially for breakfast, because I didn't want anything to be soggy. Everything had to be separated. I'm like, you can make me cream of wheat or grits, but it cannot touch my bread, and I can't have like my bread touching my pancakes or like I didn't want anything.
Your aversion to wet is definitely
That's
like
an occupational
sign.
hazard.
Well, it's definitely it was definitely one of those things where your mom's like, yeah, I knew you weren't gonna like girls the way you wouldn't want anything to be soggy or wet.
It's the right amount of wet.
Yeah, I didn't want to consume anything that was soggy or wet.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm saying. It's a
sure,
sign.
whatever.
But
Because
for a long time as a grown man, he was less picky about his buns.
just as picky, just didn't like it slathered and stuff.
No, listen, when I would spend summers with my grandmother, she would put butter on a peanut butter sandwich so it didn't stick to the roof of our mouth. I was like, what is happening here? Why?
That's a little much.
Alan, when I was a kid, we'd roll up bologna with peanut butter inside.
No,
I've never had that.
Never.
I'm going to just go
No.
preemptively.
I do kind of
Jostled bologna at the Agora this weekend, too, I'm being told. So
I do want to buy a loaf of bread and some bologna this week and just have some struggle meals for old time's sake.
No, I never want to have a
Fry
struggle
some in the
again.
pan.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what slaps is you get yourself a ring bologna and you slice that thing and you air fry it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Doggy. Man, is that good.
I mess with that.
That's why Poundcake is black toast intolerant.
Because of field trip bologna sandwiches.
Well, I think we know his polar blast punishment, Bill.
Soggy bologna?
Soggy bread. Yeah, remember Erica
Erica
and
did the soggy hot dog.
Soggy hot dogs? Yeah.
Soggy bologna sandwich
There you go.
with
Slathered in mayo.
heaping amounts of mayo.
I'm not doing that.
Heaping.
I did a shot of my pee. Of course, I couldn't eat the butter stick.
You didn't even do a shot of your pee, and you
Yes,
didn't
I
even-
did.
Yes, he did.
I couldn't do the butter stick.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, the butter
Yeah.
stick. You had a bite.
What does that say about me that I could easily down a shot of my own urine? I just couldn't take one
Goes
bite
right
of
down
it.
the hatch.
I feel like I could do that because
Stick of butter.
it comes from me. Like I feel like
Well, you put some of your mayo on there too if you want. If it makes it easier.
Peanut butter sandwiches with Hellman's mayo, somebody said their mom made. Oh. We just had bologna sandwiches with mustard. Bologna, Oscar Mayer bologna, mustard bread.
We do Miracle Whip bologna.
Yeah, I don't like mayo. I like Miracle Whip. It's a tangy zip. Alan Poop also removes paint. When I was 12, I pooped on the hood of a car in an apartment parking lot. It was a broken down car or something, but we came by weeks later by chance, and the poop was still there.
I think that depends
had
on what
eaten
you ate.
Yeah. Big bowl of chili
Mm-hmm.
had eaten the paint away.
I believe that's called a